I'm a public health expert. I worked like 15, 17 years in different African countries in implementation. Places like Togo, Guinea, Cameroon, Congo, Madagascar, Morocco. And back home in Germany, we have a debate about whether implementation is more a science, a craft, or even an art. And I guess my personal experience is it's probably a good mixture of the three of it. But I do consider it more of an art than in science or a craft, right? It takes certainly a good basis in science, to know what public health intervention may give you the best results, what drugs to use, what epidemic control measures are the most valid. Yes, it takes science, and yes, it takes craft, right? A sound approach, good administration, good planning, good partners involvement. There's a lot of craft in that. But by the end of the day, to me, what really makes a difference between those implementers succeeding and those projects failing, that's art. And it resembles maybe a thermodynamics, right? It's like you have to sense in your program, in your environment, in your sector, in your country, you have to sense the different forces and powers playing together, right? You have to sense those obstacles, where could be potential allies to overcome things that have never been overcome before, right? There's a lot of art, and I personally feel good project management has a lot to do with the Japanese art of Aikido. You take the energy, right, and you give it a direction. But now, how can you exchange about art and implementation, right? Can you write that down? Can you write down what inspires you? Can you write down how you sense the energies in a given sector, in a given country, in a given time? Can you write that down? I doubt it. I think it has a lot to do with tacit knowledge, with people with deep insights, with personalities, with very personal skills that you could evolve and develop and fine-tune over your career life, right? And for exchanging around that aspect of art in implementation, agenda is a killer very often. You just have to create that space where people can jointly work on delivery challenges, for instance, or share their deeper insight, or maybe even be in the same context together and share and develop together what resonates with them, right? What energies do you feel? What would be your approach, right? This is more like peer counseling, maybe, or just co-creation, being together in the same spot and reflecting and sensing the same thing. This takes as a precondition that we acknowledge in implementation that we have those three pillars, which is science. And I think this is given already. We all agree that it takes a good part of science, right? It takes craftsmanship, easy, right? We have global consensus, I guess, that good part of what we're doing, there is craftsmanship in the project cycle, in good documentation, in good planning. There's a lot of craftsmanship, right? But then the third pillar, like this more intuitive pillar that takes the whole of the human being, those who's implementing, right? I feel that we don't have a global consensus yet that this is one of the major success factors, right? And probably it's even often contradicted by those who believing that with just evidence, scientific evidence, and big data and smart machines, you can end up with the ultimate formula for coming up with the best implementation in that given setting, right? And I just doubt it. maybe one day in 30 years I may think differently, but for the time being I doubt it. Implementation and change and reform, that has to do with human beings. Human beings are no rational machines. They don't behave like algorithms, right? They're human beings. They have religion, they have culture, they have mental conditions, right? So we better face it, and we better accept that the people we're working with are humans, right? And those implementing, they are humans too, right? So why don't we use what nature has given us, right? Our senses, the full package of senses that comes with a centered human being, right? Using it. So this has to do with intuition. I guess that a good part of when I remember the times implementing on the ground, there was a lot of intuition, right? We have that saying in German, which is sleeping over something and the next day you might know better, right? And that's something I learned over time, that it takes a while for the brain to integrate all those information when you come through a lot of interviews and communication and understanding the context, right? It's personally what I often do is I do a lot of sports that helps my brains to digest the information, right? Communication is certainly key, but for communication you need to be centered, right? The way we work, we fly in a country, we have 3 days, the agenda is packed from starting at 7 until 10 p.m., right? This is not really the ideal setting where people can deliver the best.